Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After learning about Paulina's medical miracle, Eli and Lonnie make an announcement, and Wendy questions Tripp's proposal. In his bedroom, Steve reads internet news about Wendy and Tripp's rescue and Clyde's escape. He throws the tablet on the bed as Kayla returns to him. She reports that Tripp and Wendy are sleeping soundly, which is all due to his efforts. He shares credit with her. Tripp tells Wendy in her hospital room that he understands his mother is devastated by what occurred, but history repeats itself with her. He couldn't bear the thought that something like this would happen again. Wendy tells him that he does not have to care for her, but she does thank him for keeping them calm in the tank. She describes their last few seconds in there as foggy, as if she dreamt the entire affair. He says that when the brain runs out of oxygen, it produces its own sensory sensations. Are you telling me I did imagine some of it? Chanel and Johnny meet Abe in the hospital's lobby. They don't comprehend why Paulina is doing well when the only remedy was a heart transplant. If Abe hadn't known better, he may have thought he was dreaming the entire time. When Eli and Lonnie enter Paulina's room, they discover that the bed is vacant. Lonnie panics when Abe, Chanel, and Johnny enter. Sarah follows, pushing Paulina in her wheelchair. Sarah reveals that Paulina's tests are normal and her heart tissue appears healthy, contradicting all medical explanations. It's nothing short of a miracle. Paulina and Abe exchange a knowing grin. Paulina unveils another miracle to celebrate. Abe now has his memory back. Abe tells Lonnie about the day he found out she was his daughter. Even though they now know she is not his biological child, he will always be honored to be her father. He also recalls falling in love with Paulina for the first time. He's overjoyed he got to do it all over again. Johnny observes that the Demeros have a devil in their midst, whereas the Carvers must have an angel. Yes, we do, Abe says, chuckling. In their bedroom, Steve informs Kayla that he was able to save Tripp because she taught him CPR. Furthermore, if he hadn't learned ASL with her years ago, he would not have caught up on Wendy's clue. However, he is worried by not only Clyde, but also Constantine, Abe's loss of memory, and Paulina's death in hospital. Kayla astounds him by explaining that Paulina is completely recovered. After Johnny and Chanel have left Paulina's room, Eli and Lonnie go so Eli can take a phone call. Paulina and Abe decide to keep Lexi's angelic intervention to themselves. Paulina is worried that Abe will recall all of the falsehoods she told him. Abe describes her as a complicated, amazing woman, and he can't wait to make new memories with her. When Eli hangs up the phone in the lobby, he informs Lonnie that his FBI status has changed to part-time special agent. This means he can now confer with the DOJ. They gave him what he asked for and more. Lonnie is quite proud of him. However, with the job in DC, he is unsure how he feels about leaving his family again. She does not know either. Tripp admits that his recall is unclear and asks Wendy what she believes happened in the tank. Sarah interrupts them to investigate Wendy. After learning from Chanel and Johnny in the square that Abe had regained his memories, Steve and Kayla enter with flowers. Steve quickly accuses Ava of everything, but Tripp defends his mother. Steve relents, relieved that both he and Wendy are okay. He was terrified while trying to revive him. He apologizes for cracking his rib, however. Kayla assures him that it is typical, and Tripp claims it is a little price to pay. He is grateful for his father. The men embrace and declare their love. Steve and Kayla leave when Chanel and Johnny arrive carrying 2 Sweet Bits pastry boxes. Wendy discovers Chanel's wedding ring and warmly congratulates the couple. Tripp had always known they'd end up together. Johnny observes that everyone is exactly where they should be. Tripp and Wendy exchange a long glance. Steve and Kayla pay a visit to Abe and Paulina, who express their gratitude for everything they have done. Abe has enjoyed their hospitality, but jokes that they are losing him as a house guest. The Johnsons are overjoyed for them and ask them to dinner as soon as Paulina is ready to celebrate. Wendy's mother calls her after Johnny and Chanel had left her room. Wendy tells Tripp during a tense but brief discussion in Mandarin how unhappy her mother is that she found out about her situation through the news. Tripp believes she's simply terrified, especially after what happened to Lee. Wendy knows. And she has been afraid before, but never as much as she was last night. But, at the same time, she'd never felt safer than in his embrace. When Johnny and Chanel deliver Sarah a package of pastries for the staff, Sarah offers them the Horton cabin for their honeymoon because they do not want to be too far away from Paulina. After Paulina's off-screen encounter with Jules and Carver, Eli drops off the twins with Julie in the park. When he returns, he and Lonnie inform Paulina and Abe of Eli's job offer in D.C. But they will only accept it if Paulina is sincerely glad for them. If not, they will remain in Salem. Paulina does not want them to leave, but she understands they must do what is best for their family. Johnny and Chanel return, as does Sarah, who claims Paulina could be discharged as soon as tomorrow. She needs to follow up with specialists, but the finish is definitely in sight. In the lobby, Steve informs Kayla that Clyde's escape is still bothering him, especially after he killed Abigail and kidnapped Kayla and Joe. Kayla knows he'll be apprehended and returned to prison. Steve yells that Clyde should pray the police catch him before he does. Kayla seems apprehensive. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, March 11th suggest that Tate Black appears at Holly Jonas' bedroom window. Paulina Price is visited by an angel, which Abe Carver, James Reynolds, sees. John Black, Steve Patch Johnson and Ava Vitale link up again to save Tripp Johnson and Wendy Shin. Also, the police department reacts to Officer Goldman's work for Clyde Weston. DOL spoilers for Monday, March 11th suggest that Tate is still upset about Holly not clearing his name. Tate was confident that when Holly awoke from her coma, she would tell everyone what had happened. Unfortunately, Holly claims she doesn't remember anything from New Year's Eve. Tate is now in a dire situation, with both his future and his freedom at stake. Fans might anticipate Tate to adopt desperate measures. Tate will appear at Holly's bedroom window, most likely demanding answers as to why she is letting him take the blame for the narcotics. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Monday, March 11th reveal that Tripp and Wendy are still being held hostage. Ava, John, and Steve all work together to bust Clyde out of prison. Right now, Ava is still tied up after Goldman slithered her tongue down Clyde's throat. At some point, Ava will get free and so will Black Patch. Next, the trio will join forces again to save Tripp and Wendy. Unfortunately, Tripp and Wendy are just about out of oxygen. As Tripp explained to Wendy in Thursday's episode, the danger really isn't the lack of oxygen. It's the carbon dioxide that will kill them. There isn't much time left and the hostages are beginning to run out of hope. Can the hostages be found before it's too late?